Good day, and thank you for watching. If you are on probation in California, there is one thing you need to understand very clearly. Probation is not freedom without conditions. It is a court order, and violating those conditions, even in ways that seem minor, can lead to serious consequences. Let's start with the basics. Probation is often granted instead of jail or prison time. It allows someone to remain in the community under certain terms and restrictions. Those terms may include reporting requirements, counseling, classes, community service, drug testing, travel restrictions, payment obligations, or staying away from certain people or places. Now, here's the key. Every probation case is different, and the exact conditions matter. Now, here's where many people make a mistake. They assume probation is informal, flexible, or easy to fix later, but probation violations can quickly escalate. Now, let's talk about what counts as a violation. Missing appointments with a probation officer, failing a drug test, missing court-ordered classes, not paying required fines, getting arrested again, or violating stay-away orders. All of these can potentially trigger violation proceedings. Now let's discuss another important issue. A probation violation does not always require a brand new criminal conviction. In some situations, the allegation itself may lead to a hearing regarding whether probation terms were violated. Now let's talk about probation violation hearings. These hearings are different from regular criminal trials. The legal standards may be different, and the court may focus on whether probation conditions were violated rather than whether a new crime was proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Now here's another important point. Judges often view probation as an opportunity that came with responsibilities, and repeated violations may affect how future requests are viewed. Now, let's discuss another common mistake. People sometimes stop taking probation seriously after a period of compliance. They become less careful, less organized, and small issues begin to build up. Missed appointments, late paperwork, incomplete requirements. But probation systems often track these details closely. Now, let's talk about communication. If problems arise during probation, job loss, illness, transportation issues, financial hardship, ignoring the problem usually makes things worse. Documentation and communication may become extremely important. Now let's discuss another issue, travel restrictions. Some probation terms restrict travel outside certain counties or states without permission, and violating travel restrictions may create additional complications. Now let's talk about technology. Electronic monitoring, check-in systems, and digital communication are increasingly common in probation supervision, and those systems create records. Now, here's where many people make another mistake. They associate with individuals they were ordered to avoid, friends, former associates, or co-defendants. But association restrictions are often taken seriously. Now, let's discuss another important point, social media. Posts, photos, videos, and online activity may sometimes become relevant in probation violation allegations, especially if they appear to contradict probation conditions. Now let's talk about drug and alcohol conditions. Even lawful behavior outside probation may become prohibited if specific probation terms restrict substance use. That means understanding the exact wording of probation conditions matters. Now let's discuss another issue. Financial obligations. Restitution, fines, and fees may be part of probation conditions, and failure to address them can create problems, especially if the court believes there was the ability to pay. Now let's talk about evidence. Probation violation cases often involve reports, test results, electronic records, witness statements, or officer testimony, and those details can significantly affect the outcome. Now let's discuss another misunderstanding. Some people believe that a technical violation is not serious, but technical violations can still lead to consequences depending on the circumstances and prior history. Now let's talk about potential outcomes. A judge may continue probation, modify conditions, extend probation, or revoke probation entirely. And in some situations, custody time may be imposed. Now let's discuss another important issue: patterns. One isolated issue may be viewed differently than repeated non-compliance. Courts often look at overall behavior and effort toward compliance. Now let's talk about organization. Keeping records of completed classes, payments, testing, and communications can become extremely important because documentation may help resolve disputes about compliance. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Probation is designed to provide structure and accountability while allowing someone to remain outside custody. But maintaining probation requires consistency, attention, and understanding of the rules. Finally, let's talk about expectations. Probation can feel restrictive and stressful, but ignoring conditions or assuming issues will work themselves out often creates greater risk. Understanding the terms clearly is one of the most important parts of avoiding violations. In conclusion, probation violations in California can arise from both major and minor issues, and even technical violations can have serious consequences depending on the circumstances. Understanding your conditions, staying organized, and addressing problems early can make a major difference in protecting your position. If you are dealing with probation issues or facing allegations of violating probation, understanding the process and your rights is critical. Call us at 888-888-6582. I'm Vince Davis, and we are all in this together.